Hello and welcome to your in-depth weekly horoscope for week commencing the 8th of May for the Sun or the Ascendant. I'm going to give you the standout details to look out for that we can all collectively relate to, but please stay with me. I will then explore each of the 12 zodiac signs from Aries through to Pisces in much greater detail. Now this week sees Jupiter and Pluto continue their right angle. Pluto's about power and of course is now in retrograde. Jupiter is about expansion. So when we get them at right angles, there can be a tendency to try a little bit too hard, or we may encounter somebody who's trying to enforce their will on us. And at the heart of this week's events, of course, is the energy compacted into the sign of Taurus. This is where the Sun is, which is critical, the retreating, retrograding Mercury, but also the North Node. So our values, our everyday money, our self-worth, still very much in focus. But we now have Venus in the sign of Cancer along with Mars, and that's a water sign, and they're both interacting really positively with two influences in another water sign of Pisces, and that's in the guise of Saturn and Neptune. So what can we take from this? Well, I feel that this is a week where we need to be very tuned in to how things feel. So even if we're dealing with some practicalities, very Taurus-like energy, or money, or we're grappling with something that may not necessarily be that easy due to the Mercury retrograde, there could be some snags or snares or some rethinking going on. The best way to navigate all of this is to listen to our inner guide, so our sixth sense, because when we go against that, that's when things can get a little tricky. But we also have a quarter moon in the sign of Aquarius on Thursday, where Pluto is, and that is in a square with the Sun in Taurus. So I feel one of the things that can come into this week could be some challenges around our future planning or our connections to others, where our values or the financial elements of a situation don't quite stack up in the way that we hope, which is the 11th house energy of higher expectations. So we need to keep our feet very much on the ground with this earthy energy, but tune into how things feel. Now, if you're new to my channel, thank you so much for joining us. This is very much a community. I'd be honoured if you'd subscribe. Please click or tap on the bell notification symbol. And do share any thoughts you have. I try to interact with each one. If you're a returning visitor, thank you so much for joining me once more. And if you would like your free daily horoscope fired to your device each morning, then please see the link below where you can subscribe. I've been writing these for about 28 years, and I think that's unusual amongst the YouTube astrologers. Now Aries, for you, week commencing the 8th of May, does provide some challenge because with Saturn and Neptune in your 12th house, that could be provoking you or pushing you to engage with some strands or some sensitivities that you may be reluctant to embrace. But because your ruler Mars is forging such a positive angle to Neptune, if you do have a discussion that is more to do with helping someone, being compassionate around a situation that's a little tricky or sensitive, or perhaps even giving yourself a break around something from your past which is still very active in terms of its influence in the here and now. But Venus in the sign of Cancer is actually collaborating brilliantly with Saturn. So you may find yourself reminiscing about someone from your past in a very nostalgic way, but actually can be very sweet. Then again, you could look back and think, oh, I haven't heard from so-and-so for a while, and decide to reach out. And if you do, it could be heartwarming if there is some kind of reconnection. But in terms of the everyday financial side of things, Mercury continuing to rewind obviously does require some care. But the North Node is actually forging a terrific link to the planet of finance. And something linked to your home Perhaps it's going to be through decluttering, finding out there's some items there that maybe you can sell on or just create more space. But some kind of dividend can come to your peace of mind through the energy of Venus's sextile to the North Node. Perhaps you're going to appreciate family relationships that much more this week. That certainly wouldn't be a surprise. And despite the fact that Mercury is retrograde, it is forging a very stable link to Saturn. So if there are past experiences you've gained or you have connections to people from your past, they can still actually be very useful to you in a practical way in the here and now. But that quarter moon, it just suggests that your group connection to others could be in some way inhibited by funds or lack of funds. Perhaps you haven't quite got as much available cash to socialise as you would like, or perhaps someone connected to you may look for some kind of assistance from you around the financial dimension. And I think the quarter moon just suggests that you really need to understand if this is going to feel right for you. And I think that's the theme for this week. Evaluate everything, whether it's practical, sentimental, something to do with your professional situation or your relationships. Assess everything on the basis of how things feel. It's been a real pleasure being with you, Aries. If you would like to ascend above this zodiac broadcast, if you give me 3 pieces of personal birth data, of time, date and place of birth, I can produce for you your life roadmap report. This can help you to get a much more intimate understanding of the patterns that have played out in your life so far, but also seize the opportunities much more firmly. Also, my special package of 30% off, you will get your 12-month personal forecast, totally unique to you, which can give you searing insights for the time and months to come. If you don't know your time of birth, I've a new product I've developed based very much on the sun. So if you enjoy watching your sun sign videos on YouTube, these will make a lot of sense. The same package, 30% off. Please see the link below. It's been a pleasure being with you. Thank you so much for joining me. Please do like, comment or subscribe.